Hello, the internet. This is still the Enlightened Savage. I'm still D, and it's good to see you again. Today, I'm going to cover some more of the fallout from the November 2018 ballot. Now, if you live in Missouri and you've been on Facebook recently, and I assume most of you can read, you've probably seen stuff like this. Or this. Or this. Online recently, and let me tell you, that is absolutely true. Except it's not. Let me explain. While medical marijuana is now legal in many states, about 2/3 of them actually, it's still illegal on a federal level, and that has caused more than a few problems. One problem is a business issue between dispensaries and banks. As with any legal issue, there's a lot of nuance and there are many details that factor in, so any nitpickers out there can feel free to pick away in the comments, but I'm comfortable with the broad strokes I'm painting. Banks follow federal guidelines, and since on a federal level dispensaries are still considered drug traffickers, it would be considered money laundering for banks to allow dispensaries to deposit their revenue in the banks. This has led to a lot of issues concerning paying for overhead, payroll, taxation, security. A few credit unions, like Partner Colorado, were able to do a sophisticated and complex dance to get the dispensary money into it without breaking any federal law, but it's still a major issue for most states. Another problem with federal prohibition is that you're still subject to federal law enforcement. Government agencies can still investigate you if you're a dispensary or a legal marijuana user on a state level, and they have. They have kind of a lot. History is full of instances where the ATF, the FBI, or the DEA raid a dispensary, strip them of their supplies, their product, and their revenue, hold it for evidence, and never file a charge, essentially robbing them. They don't file charges because of a lot of legal red tape between the state government and the federal government, and I don't think that their intention was to rob the dispensary, but when the smoke clears and the dust settles, that's effectively all they've done. And yes, it's illegal for anyone who has a medical marijuana card to own a firearm, according to federal law. It's a long story, and it all starts with the Gun Control Act of 1968. U.S. Code 18 subsection 922 says that anyone who is addicted to a controlled substance cannot own a firearm, or purchase a firearm. The exact wording of the federal law prohibits anyone who is an illegal user of a controlled substance to own a firearm, even if they live in a state where that substance is legal. A Nevada resident named S. Rowan Wilson, who's now a big marijuana proponent, check out her website, it's pretty dope, challenged that rule when she tried to buy a gun in 2011 and was denied by the gun dealer. The case made it all the way to the 9th U.S. Court of Appeals when, in 2016, Judge Navarro ruled that it does not violate the Second Amendment to uphold this federal law. It's a lot like the issues we have with gun safety regulations in America. Even though marijuana is not chemically addictive at all, and it's legal in the state in which you live under certain conditions, it's still considered an addictive controlled substance by the federal government. Federal law supersedes state law, and we could try to challenge it, but a judge has already ruled on it, setting precedent, and it's considered settled, at least for now. Unfortunately, that is the cost of doing business. For now, Cabela's will consider you persona non grata, but all is not lost. If a criminal, and let's be frank, if someone intends to own a medical marijuana card and a gun at the same time, that's exactly what they'd be. If a criminal wants to get their hands on a gun, there are pretty easy workarounds. Of course, no one should break the law, and we should absolutely report any crimes that we witness or of which we have any knowledge to the proper authorities. But I'm sure this law gets broken all the time. For instance, I'm sure a lot of people just have guns before they get their medical marijuana card and don't give them up. Or they use the gun show loophole, and if you don't know what that is, Google it. 22 states have closed that loophole, but Missouri isn't one of those 22. While Pistols Plus may not be willing to break the law, I've got a feeling that 19-year-old Mason down the street needs some beer money and doesn't really care where it comes from. And we all know somebody... Hey, Missouri, come on, it's me. Real talk. We all know somebody who bought a gun for their drunk uncle or their jailbird cousin or their brother-in-law, and if you don't, it was you. You were just so high on meth that it's all hazy now. What was I talking about? Right, all is not lost. Yeah, if you don't want these dangerous, unstable medical marijuana users to break the law so easily, you could change the law. Look, it's a matter of public record that I don't support gun ownership.
What are you waiting for? Nature to develop an immunity to bullets? It's obvious what we need to do. Take away the guns. Yes, I mean all of them. Yes, I mean from you. Gun equals easier to kill massive groups of people. Person equals shaved monkey with erectile dysfunction and high-speed internet access. More guns equals more dead people. This isn't the Zodiac 408 cipher. It's not that hard to read.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to spin back. I don't support people owning guns. They're too dangerous. I'm talking about people, not guns. They're also too dangerous. Now I'm talking about guns. Look, I absolutely believe in disarmament, but even more than that, I believe in equality. We live in a society that allows our citizens to own guns, and as long as we do, we shouldn't prohibit them doing so because they have a doctor's order for medicine that they need. Marijuana has no short-term effect that leads to violence. It has no long-term effect that makes one prone to violence. It is not addictive. It shouldn't be a controlled substance, let alone a Schedule 1. And it's only still on that because nobody has bothered to change the paperwork since research has come out. Something absolutely does need to be done about this. So why don't you be the change you want to see and do something about it? I would help, but I'm not there. Personally, I would sign any petition that crossed my face to change this law. And a petition like that in Missouri, I'm pretty sure that's good for a few million votes. Look, Missouri, you just changed the state constitution twice this month. Changing federal law is a little more difficult, but not by much. You've already got 2/3 of the country on your side. I hate the thought of you maniacs owning guns, and you've got my support. So do something about it. Change it. So that's something that happened because of the November 2018 ballots. I'm going to get back at you with one more at least, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching and big kiss. Bye-bye.